Super Tuesday, I'm only going to keep Jesse Benton, the communications director for Ron Paul 2008 campaign, 5-10 minutes because I want him to get back to his important work. It's Super Tuesday. Thank you for joining us, Jesse, on the front lines to give us a report on what's happening and what the troops can do.
Hey, thanks for having me, Alex. I really appreciate it.
You've got the floor. Tell us what's going on right now, what the numbers are, what we can do right now.
Well, we've been barnstorming, Alex. I'm sure most of your listeners, as savvy as they are, have been paying attention to what our strategy is. And our strategy has been to focus on some of the smaller states, especially smaller states that have caucuses. We might not have the widespread, top-to-bottom, mainstream, media-driven support that a John McCain might have. But what we do have is a really powerful, strong, deep grassroots network that's very committed, very intense. And I think that our success in a lot of the caucuses, it shows how well we can do. We recently won about a third of the delegates in Maine. We believe that we won Louisiana if they had counted the votes correctly, and we placed second in Nevada, all smaller caucus states. So we can compete dollar for dollar with some of the bigger candidates.
And Ron Paul is in third for delegates above the anointed one of just 2 weeks ago, Mike Huckabee.
Sure thing. And, Huckabee has 40 delegates, and we have about a dozen. But,
Then I saw a false report on that. Okay.
Yeah, he won a bunch of delegates in Iowa, so he does have about 40 delegates. But we think he's topped out. We don't see him doing too much more. It's all about delegates today, Alex. We get people out to our caucuses, and we can win a substantial portion of delegates. If we can walk away today with a bunch of delegates in the bank, then we'll be really strong to move forward into Texas and move forward in some other states that we think we can win, especially if we get a little bit more mainstream media backing, states like Idaho, Washington State, down the line. So again, today's delegates, I can't stress enough to all the loyal listeners out there, all the loyal supporters, you got to get to your caucus in the caucus states. If you're in North Dakota, Minnesota, Colorado, Alaska, get out there, please. Get to your caucuses. And then in the primaries, too. We need strong showings in primaries. Every single vote is going to help us in places like Tennessee, where we think we've got a lot of support. New York, please get out there, vote in your primary, get to your caucus. It is just so essential.
Jesse, I have a report here. I want to know if it's accurate that Ron Paul was in Minnesota today at the university.
Last night, yes, sir.
Last night, and that there was more than 3,000 people there?
There were about 4,200 people there last night, Alex. We packed it. Hillary Clinton had an event in the same venue about 5 days earlier. She brought in about 3,200. So we beat Hillary Clinton in turnout at the University of Minnesota. It was absolutely incredible. One of the most electrifying crowds I've had the pleasure to be around. And
well, when Ron Paul was there being covered on MTV, they showed video outside. It was all Ron Paul supporters. I mean,
it really was.
something stinks here. Now, whatever happened with, I know we're looking forward, but whatever happened with Louisiana, because I was hearing first place, second place, you guys said there was some problems. What's the final word, at least right now, on that?
Well, Louisiana GOP has declared the results final, and they have us in second place to Romney. We believe that we won Louisiana. There were about 500 provisional ballots that were thrown out because they said that people that had cast these ballots were not properly on the voter rolls as of November 30th. We think that they were using a bad list and that they should have counted those provisional ballots. There were just a whole bunch of consistencies and inconsistencies and problems with the entire caucus process. And we don't think necessarily that there's anything nefarious going on, but we do think that there was perhaps some incompetence and a lot of mistakes. And we want the ballots counted. People voted. When people turn out and vote, we think it's pretty important that they're not disenfranchised, that their votes are counted. We do not think that people of Louisiana, were properly treated in this caucus. So we've considered moving forward with some kind of legal action. We're not sure that we're going to do that, but it is a real shame that there were 500 some provisional ballots thrown out and 500 some Louisianans that we think wanted to vote very heavily for Dr. Paul disenfranchised.
I've got the report that Hillary is having coughing fits and crying again, trying to manipulate people. This woman is an absolute nightmare. She's now proposing that they garnish everyone's wages for national health care. How could anyone vote for any of these Democrats? I mean, they need to all come over and vote for Ron Paul. I'm just throwing that out there. We've got Ann Coulter endorsing Hillary Clinton over the other Republicans. I mean,
It sounds like Ann Coulter might have jumped the shark this time. She's been very savvy in marketing herself, but this seems pretty over the top to me. And Ann Coulter, she likes to get a lot of attention for herself, and I think she just found out another way to get herself on TV a whole heck of a lot. I don't really think that anybody with any conservative bones in their body would think that Hillary Clinton should be the choice for president.
Well, I think it shows that they've circled the wagons. Republicans and Democrats and the establishment have circled the wagons. What can we do? What can we do to continue to energize the campaign, Jesse?
Well, there are three things, Alex, and I always say this. First of all, contribute to the presidential campaign. We are going to move forward tomorrow. We are going to have delegates at the bank. We are going to move forward, and this thing is going to keep going forward as a presidential campaign and also as a movement. There is something, even if we fail at our bid to the White House, and we haven't given up on that yet, we're still fighting the big fight. There is going to be a movement that's going to come out of this, an organization that is going to help elect constitutional Ron Paul Republicans to Congress, and is going to continue to spread the message. So continue to contribute, continue to support, and you people out there in states like Pennsylvania, Washington State, Idaho that haven't gotten a chance to vote yet, keep up your energy and your passion. It's your energy and passion that's going to let this thing move forward and give us good chances at accomplishing great things. And second of all, we need to make sure that Ron Paul keeps his congressional seat in the 14th District. If you go to Ron Paul for Congress, RonPaulForCongress.com, we have another place where you can contribute anything that people out there can afford to give.
They're coming after him. They're coming after him there, and he got up to the plate, folks. We got to support him.
Yeah. We've got a guy nearby. He's a city councilman in Galveston, and he's praised Ron in the past. Said Ron was the greatest thing since sliced bread, and also promised that if Ron ran for president, that he wouldn't run for his congressional seat. But he's gone back on his word, and he's trying some real distasteful smear tactics against Ron. He doesn't support the troops. He voted against body armor for the troops. That he doesn't support our president enough. And it's people in the 14th district, they've heard this all before. They know who Ron Paul is. They know he's the taxpayer's best friend. But we just need to make sure that congressional race just gets just enough money that there's no threat there. Because
we got to watch the cheating, which we all know is going on. In closing, Jesse Benton, look, we're all going to maximum output now and into the next sectors of the primary, but people want to look forward into the second half of the game or to know there's a second half of the game. Are you looking at brokered convention, or are you looking at the third party? Because I think you've got the grassroots. We've got the grassroots to put him on the ballot. I know he'll then get the money. He'd be in a three-way or four-way with Bloomberg coming in, and I think Ron Paul has got quite a shot as a third party. I know that you don't want to cross that bridge now, but he's even now been softening his stance, the congressman, and saying, yeah, things have changed. When might we, I know you have to find out what happens first, but when might we start finding out what the second half's going to look like?
Alex, you never say never with things like that. I would say, though, that, Ron has no intentions and no plans to run for third party. He knows how biased the system is, and he knows that's just the closest thing to a fool's errand that you could get.
Okay, then how do we deal?
We're looking at broker convention here right now. If we can roll in with a strong amount of delegates, we might we could do great things in Minneapolis.
Well, I know we've got the congressman coming on next week or the week after that. I need to get him on quick, and I want to get his take on how we'll deal with broker convention, because this is something that is an unknown country for a lot of our listeners. They don't know what a brokered convention is, and I'd like to hear the congressman's take on that, so we know what the in-game strategy is here, so people understand that we are still in this game in a big way. And bottom line, we've already won because people are being educated about the true nature of government, the Constitution.
Oh, we already have won. You're absolutely right, Alex. We've won big time. When there were 11 candidates starting out a year ago, nobody had heard of Ron Paul. Would anybody have thought, would anybody have bet a month's grocery money that we'd be standing here right now with delegates in the bank, probably in third place overall, with still a shot in this ball game to win the whole enchilada? So much of the message has been spread. We've already won big time, and we hope to continue this victory.
Well, I saw a press report, and I couldn't dig it out during the breaks. A couple of news sites are saying he's in third place. Where did they get that number? Because you just alluded to really being in third place, but then you said fourth place. Where is he?
Are we in third place or fourth place? I'm not sure. I'd argue that we're in third place with our potential to score delegates today. Seems like Governor Huckabee's hit a ceiling for himself, and we continued to beat him. I mean, we just trounced him in Maine. We actually beat John McCain in Maine when it comes down to actual delegates that'll go in the bank. Again, second place in Louisiana and Nevada. Let's look and see what we can do tonight in Montana, North Dakota. I think Alaska, Minnesota. I think that'll show that we are in third place, and we still are.
And then he's looking good. He's looking good in Washington State.
Washington State is amazingly strong. That's why we went out there just a few days ago. Even though it's not a February 5th state, the support is absolutely amazing, and the energy. And you're talking about a place where people are just really savvy, and they figured it out there. Washington State could be huge for Ron Paul.
Absolutely, Jesse Benton.